I think it was such a powerful moment during your Vlad interview where you discussed the day you got out of prison and how you felt guilty that you were unable to take some of those brothers that stood by your side on the inside with you, and that you had to leave them behind, and you teared up because you knew there were good people that did their time, paid their debt to society, and they deserved to be home.
Yeah, man, and that was, there's survivor's remorse. I've lost a lot of brothers and sisters that I wish that I could tell you more than my family. I said, why not me and why them, right? And then you go through your consequence and you pay, right? And as a bad guy, you got away with shit in your life, and you go home and you got a new life, and you're gonna let go, and then you see your men's on the fence holding it, and they got you through the worst time in your life, and some of them really, really changed, even better men than you. They deserve to go home before you, but they can't because the draconian laws in America could take a drug sale and give you natural life. So in saying that, right, I remember leaving that gate and I thought I wouldn't see a lot of them, right? And this is funny because yesterday, while I was doing the first orientation of hiring guys, there was this brother named Frankie that was in Elton in that gate when I left. And I seen him sitting down in the circle of the guys I was looking to hire, him, his wife, and he brought 3 friends that also did time with us 20 years. And he looked at me and he said, I remember you used to tell me that you were going to do this while you walked the yard. So in the middle of the circle last night, I told everybody, see him, he's not a king, he's not a gangbanger. He did 22 years because he wouldn't tell on his code event and he was innocent. He was never there. But the Fed said, if you don't tell, you do the bit with him. And he did it. And he protected me as a normal guy in the yard. And when I mean protected him, the belief, that Tone got to get home. And now he was sitting ready to leave a $33 job in construction, putting in windows and skyscrapers to come work for me for 24, saving lives in the neighborhood in East New York or in Manhattan. Do you know the paycheck that was? To see him home, to see that I gave him hope and that he never quit, even though he didn't belong there. And now I have the ability to tell him it's true. Change is true. Hope is true. We made it through it. And now we got to tell our story to a young individual that's in Rikers Island, believing that there's not a light at the end of that tunnel. It is our obligation. He who is forgiven much owes much. My freedom is paid by the price of my ancestors who died for me. So when I seen that man and those men in that circle were feeling hope that I could get them a job and give them security and love so they don't go back, yo, brother, I've made man cry. I've made man beg. I've made man fear, just like they made me. And I never felt as good as hurting any of those evil motherfuckers as I did when I started helping them. When I helped the motherfucker that I didn't even know, I felt so powerful, so strong, and I knew who I was and I knew it was right that I never stopped doing that. That is what I live for, to help and love a stranger, because usually the people we love don't love us back. And a stranger receives that, he appreciates that help. And then when you learn it, you could go back home and practice it with the people that say they love you and see what real love feels like when you treat each other with that love you treat a stranger. Then the house becomes a home. You have the ability for the empathy that you don't let the comfortability, being comfortable being together for so long, stop the process of why you fell in love and why y'all call yourself a family. And I think that's what we do in the Credible Messenger and Grow Up, Grow Out. We try to reconnect our community to resolve its issues, not resolve murders and all those fake big headlines they throw in our pot in our house. The real thing we're dealing with is oppression, disconnection with the love and the responsibility we have for each other, to put down our phones and look at each other in the eyes in our home and say, how do we help each other get better? And I do it every day. My fiance does it for me and everything. I'm not perfect. I fall every day, but I get up every day. So all of you out there that are ex-felons, been in a gang, went to jail, and you believe and or addicted that you can't get up and love yourself in a minute, the devil's lying to you. You're not your greatest trauma. You're not your greatest mistake. You could be loved first by you, and then we'll all love you too. So that's what I do now is convince people to love themselves so we can help them love themselves enough to make better choices. I try to stay on the right track by loving people so I don't go back to the place where I feel that my trauma gives me the right to hurt others. And like I always say on my show, who you mad at? Me or yourself. If you mad at somebody, talk to them, sucker. But if you're mad at yourself, go get help. Because normal people don't walk around mad all day. That means you need help. And if you recognize that, get somebody to listen, tell them why you're mad, and then you're going to be on the road of freedom of seeing just because you live in a big city, you don't have to be mad all day. Find that peace in self, and things will start to change around you. And that's what I do all day and all every day for my people. Is try to find peace in that moment, so freedom could never be lost.